At the beginning of the summer of 2021, more than 1,000 rockets have been fired from within Gaza Strip into Israel. However, very few of them actually managed to hit their target. And this is thanks to the military technology that Israel has access to, which is called the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome is a mobile defense system capable of intercepting not just rockets but also other missiles as well as artillery fire. The need for such a device happened after the Israel-Lebanon war, where Israel was attacked by a massive number of rockets from enemy forces. The system is comprised of three parts. The first part is the multi-mission radar, which actively scans the area for anything that could be a rocket, missile, or artillery shell. And upon detecting any of these three items, it will give a signal to the second part of the Iron Dome defense system, the Mobile Control Unit. The Mobile Control Unit will proceed to analyze the trajectory of the rocket, missile, or artillery shell, and it will try to estimate its impact point. If the impact point happens to be in a highly densely populated area, then it will give a signal to the third component of the Iron Dome defense system, the launcher. The launcher is the final component, and each launcher has around 20 interceptor missiles called Tamir interceptors. They are about 3 meters in length and weigh around 90 kilograms. Each one of them is equipped with an onboard radar, and once launched, it will then seek its target, and it will attempt to detonate it safely and harmlessly within the air before the target can reach the ground. The reason the Mobile Control Unit exists, which analyzes the trajectory of enemy fire before launching a missile, is due to the fact that the Tamir interceptor missile costs around $80,000 per unit, while one of the cheapest rockets that's being fired from Gaza, the Qassam rocket, can be anywhere around $800. So you can notice that it's very expensive to shoot them down. However, despite the fact that lately there have been thousands of rockets launched from the Gaza Strip, there has not been an issue where Israel would run out of Tamir missiles. The designers of the Iron Dome claim that it has a 90% accuracy. However, seeing viral videos on the internet with children playing while rockets harmlessly explode on top of the sky, as well as people just going about their day-to-day business without panicking or even looking up as the rockets are exploding, shows that the people of Israel have a lot of confidence in the Iron Dome defense system and that the highly populated areas are almost entirely safe, with a few rockets here and there occasionally managing to pass through the Iron Dome. This is a viral footage that has been caught by a photographer during the night sky, as you can see the rockets being fired from the Gaza Strip and the missiles from the Iron Dome raising in the air before trying to acquire a target and safely detonate it before it can reach a highly dense populated area. Ever since the system has been in place, Israel claims that over 2,000 rockets have been harmlessly shot down before they could reach a civilian target. Here are a couple of fun facts. The inspiration for the Iron Dome came from a toy car which was sold by Toys R Us. The Institute of Technology's magazine claims that due to the schedule and budget constraints, some of the missile components were taken from a toy car that the inventor had bought for his son at the local Toys R Us. The Iron Dome system was designed to be operated easily by an average woman soldier with a height of 160 centimeters and 48 kilograms in weight. Because the Iron Dome is the world's only dual mission system that provides an effective defense solution for countering rockets, artillery, mortar, as well as aircraft, helicopters, UAV, and PGMs, it was such an ambitious project that many believed it will never work. And the critics would eventually be proven wrong when the first operational deployment of the system destroyed 8 out of 8 rockets aimed at Ashkelon and Beersheba. The strange-looking battery contraption was hailed as the hero of Operation Pillar of Defense. Today, operators of the system report a best-in-the-world 90% success rate. Another reason for critics to mock and ridicule this system while it was in development, claiming that it's absolutely impossible to cause a rocket to explode in midair, was due to the fact that several major weapons manufacturers were trying to convince Israel to purchase alternative interception systems. One of these systems was called Nautilus, and it uses a laser in order to try and destroy the rockets before they hit the ground. However, Nautilus, just like the other alternative systems that were being proposed, were not nearly as efficient and as accurate as the Iron Dome turned out to be. Another fun fact has to do with the aesthetics of the systems. The designers and developers wanted the system to look as menacing as possible. The battery system needed to look super modern, but also very threatening, because it was obvious that within an hour of its use, it would be featured on the likes of CNN and Al Jazeera. And the purpose was to show the high technology Israel is capable of in order to dissuade as well as to intimidate potential enemies. As many of you probably well know, the Iron Dome is jointly funded both by Israel and the United States, with Israel having provided the initial funding and development, which allowed for the deployment of the first 2 Iron Dome systems in 2010. The United States government contributed $205 million towards its development. And in 2011, Haaretz published a report stating that Israel would invest $1 billion in the Iron Dome batteries. In 2012, the American government approved another $70 million package for further research and development. And finally, in 2014, the U.S. Senate Appropriations Defense Subcommittee agreed to provide another $351 million for Israel to secure the Iron Dome system. After the success of the Iron Dome, other 2 weapons very similar to it were also in research and development. These weapons were called the Magic Wand and Arrow. The wand is designed to intercept projectiles with ranges between 70 kilometers, that is the equivalent of 45 miles, and 300 kilometers, which is the equivalent of 180 miles. These would be used to counter the large arsenal of Hezbollah rockets in Lebanon, and the Arrow system is for even longer range threats, which could potentially come from Iran. Together with the Iron Dome, these 3 components will complete what Israel calls its multi-layer missile defense system. I hope you enjoyed this little video, this little trivia that I did. I personally like to look at technology every now and then and see how it works. Personally, this picture did fascinate me, and in a way, it's also a little bit scary because it makes us wonder how a large military conflict would look like in the future, and hopefully none of us is ever going to find out. Right now, the press is reporting that Hamas is using drones, wrapping them up with explosives and trying to collapse them into buildings in a way to bypass the Iron Dome. So we get to see an escalation of the conflict, each side trying to use more and more advanced technology or mix civilian technology with limited resources that they have in order to do more damage. And I can only dread to think what would happen when two nations that have similar amounts of resources and a lot bigger capital would try to go up against each other and trying to find more deadly technology. But again, hopefully, we're never going to experience this and we're never going to find out. Let me know what you guys think, though, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you in the comment sections.